So today, Salon and I are celebrating Lughnasadh. This is the first of the harvest festivals and where the first grains are harvested and the first bread is baked. It is a celebration of hope that these fruits and harvests will continue to provide food for the upcoming winter months. In modern Irish Gaelic, the month of August is named a modern variation of Lughnasadh, spelled L-U-N-A-S-A, Lughnasadh.
So there's a lot of ways to celebrate Lughnasadh. Not all of them are indoors. You'd probably be doing it outdoors. But as part of our celebration, we'll be baking a bread commonly referred to as soda bread, lammas bread, lots of different names. But before we do, we wanted to talk a little bit about Lughnasadh. In doing so, we will also compare a teeny bit to lammas, as a lot of people think that these are the same, but they're really completely different holidays if you look at their beginnings, even though they're celebrated very similarly and they kind of came out of each other. Starting with Lughnasadh, as we celebrate, there's a lot of folklore surrounding the harvest celebrations depending on the culture. So if it's Celtic or Gaelic or Germanic, Norse, they are celebrated differently. So this is just our way of celebrating it.
All right. Thank you. Lughnasadh is most simply referred to as festivals of Lugh that celebrate both the sun god Lugh and his mother, Teltiu, in Irish history. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Teltiu gave her life preparing the plains of Ireland for people to grow crops. Lugh marked the seasons by celebrating for her. Lugh is the god of sun, light, war, craftsmanship, and is a patron to soldiers, physicians, and artisans. Doing crafts at this time, of which cooking is truly a craft, is just one way we are celebrating and honoring the time of harvest, and in turn, Lugh.
Excuse me. So yeah, there's a lot of stories about Lughnasadh, including the god Lugh, but some of those stories include John Barleycorn and the Grain Mother. This is part of the triple goddess and the horn god stories, if you think about each of the different great and lesser Sabbats. Ever wonder where the word threshold came from in a doorway?
Yes.
Yeah, most people probably don't care, but I'm going to share it anyway. So when grain is harvested, it's threshed or separated from its sheath or its stalk, and that's done by a machine. Back when we didn't have those machines, it was done by actually stomping it on the floor, and that would separate the chaff from the grain.
How was it stomped like that?
Probably not in flip-flops.
The leftover stalks, or threshes, were left on the floor as a sort of welcome mat as people came in and out of different structures. In order to prevent the grain from also going out the door, with the wind, for example, or a storm, a small piece of wood was placed at the door to prevent this from happening, and thus a threshold was born.
Woohoo! That's where the word came from.
The wood is the hold.
To hold the threshes.
From the wind.
Or the people walking in and out and carrying it out.
Okay.
So threshes would go, grain would stay. So for us, the focus really is on the way we celebrate the first harvest and all of the hard work to prepare food, as this was the center of existence. Sustenance to support life through months when food could not grow. So now let's talk real quickly about lammas. Lammas.
L-A-M-M-A-S, L-A-M-M-A-S, L-A-M-M-A-S.
Lammas.
Lammas, L-A-M-M-A-S, not llamas that spit, is separate from Lughnasadh, as lammas is a Christian version of the first harvest and literally translates to loaf mass, or in other words, a mass or gathering of people to make loaves. The first loaf was then blessed and distributed amongst the people. Isn't there a story about that in the Bible?
There sure is. It's a lot of witchcraft on that one. Jesus was a witch. So other than this kind of Christianized blessing and distribution of lammas, instead of the likely wilder baking and merriment and joyful sharing of the pagan Lughnasadh, they were quite similar yet different, right? So they have different beginnings, although lammas likely came out of Lughnasadh. While there is much more to celebrating Lughnasadh than just making bread, it's a huge part. And we'll be incorporating it into our celebration as we share what we're going to do today.
All right. Well, there seems to be a lot of that throughout our pagan culture where when Christians, Catholics came along, they took and borrowed a lot of things, which is really flattering.
It's depaganized.
Right. But just one more thing. This is our first time baking bread of what we anticipate will be many more. So whatever happens, we're going to be learning and probably messing it up right with you. Just before we bake the bread, we will be doing our circle casting, as this is part of ritual for us.
It is, and part of the celebration. So we will also be honoring, in addition to Lu, the sun god, the goddess Demeter and Persephone. So a few stories will follow shortly as we set the stage for that, and we hope you enjoy. So with today's activities and work preparing for Lughnasadh, we will be honoring Demeter. Demeter is the Greek goddess of the harvest, grain, and fertility. Don't know why I went that route. And is one of the 12 Olympian gods that lives on Mount Olympus. In the Roman pantheon, she's also known as Ceres.
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 Serious? Are you serious?
Are you Ceres?
Serious?
Maybe did it come from that? Are you serious? Are you Ceres?
I don't think so.
As the goddess of the harvest, she is crucially important to farmers and peasant people of Greece. These farmers celebrated each year at the sanctuary known as the Eleusinian Mysteries to ensure good health to their crops and harvest. Her symbols as such include wheat, the cornucopia, a torch, and swine. She is often portrayed as a mature woman, so a crone on a throne with a torch or wheat, and when traveling, her chariot was golden and pulled by dragons.
Dragons are awesome, but I like
That's
crone on a
pretty cool.
throne.
Crone on a throne.
That's a t-shirt. We're going to do a t-shirt with crone on a throne.
Yeah.
So, talking about Demeter, Demeter is the daughter of the great titans Cronus and Rhea, and was swallowed by her father Cronus. Don't know how that happened, honestly, when she was born, but was later rescued by her youngest brother Zeus. You know, with the lightning guy, lightning dude.
Zeus.
Although never married, I don't know if they even got married, but anyway, she had children with both Poseidon and Zeus. Some of her children included Persephone, may have heard of her, Arion, and Plutus. Some people have heard of Plutus, actually. But of course, probably the most well-known, I think, is Persephone, who is the goddess of springtime and vegetation. The goddess of springtime and vegetation. Together, Demeter and Persephone exalted over the weather, seasons, plants, of both beauty and harvest.
Oh, I think I like that.
Yeah, that's why I like them together.
That's nice.
So we've got the two goddesses, Demeter and Persephone, and then we've got Lu from Lughnasadh.
One of the more common stories includes when the god Hades took Demeter's daughter Persephone to the underworld to marry. This caused Demeter to enter great sadness and to refuse to help the crops grow and harvests decline. This is said to have caused a great famine in the world. Ultimately, in order to get the harvest going again, a deal was made to allow Persephone to spend 8 months out of the underworld. The remaining 4 months are represented in the barren winter where nothing grows.
Did you see me? I'm just sucking in my gut because I wanted people to see past my belly to the wonderment that's on the floor. That's going to be an outtake, and y'all will see that at the end, trust me.
Well, I thought when we were talking about 8 months, it was showing a pregnancy.
So in honor of Demeter and Persephone, Brooke and I will be baking a bread, if he doesn't get murdered first, representative of the harvest time of Lughnasadh, or Lammas, if that's what you're after, and sharing the process with you. So for me, you know, I like to set intentions when I'm doing anything, especially when it's spiritual. My intentions are for fruitfulness, health of the crops, and to lift the abundance for people in the world who do not have access to the food security that we enjoy. Which we have a lot of food security.
We really do.
Very blessed.
And we don't have to do anything to get it.
Yeah, we don't have to work the land.
Drive to the store. So I am baking this bread to represent how hard work results in receiving the blessings of abundance. Sit back and enjoy, or cook along with us. This is our first Kitchen Witch video, and I'm sure it will be interesting to say the least.
I have no idea what's going to happen, and I feel sorry for anybody watching.
And I'm going to eat the bread, by the way, so.
So what do we need? While you're doing that, actually, I'm going to check on the butter infusion. So,
All right. So what we need is a clean wooden surface. Our choice was bamboo. We need a yellow, orange, or golden candle, which this one has all yellow, orange, and it's golden. We need a handful of edible flowers of choice. Ours are chrysanthemums, right here. We need a handful of seeds of our choice, and we've selected sunflower seeds. A handful of seasonal fruit, dried apricots. We need white flour, and for this you need 3 cups. We need buttermilk, 2 cups, bicarbonate of soda, which is baking soda. We need, here's the buttermilk just to show that we've got, you can get it in a small container at the grocery store. We went to our local grocery store. A teaspoon of salt, a bowl, and a baking pan, which is right here.
yep. And so one of the things we like to do before we actually start mixing or measuring anything, or actually mixing anything, is get everything set up. You know, setting up each individual amount so that it's already ready to go. So while you go through it, yeah, just we can start measuring out what we need to measure so that we can have everything ready to go when we get to the video portion where we're actually mixing. So just want to do a little quick show of kind of the preparation part. When you're preparing the flowers, we use just the petals. We don't really have great instructions, so some of it's going to be a little winged. Winged it. We're going to wing it.
We're going to wing it.
I.e. the temperature of baking isn't clear, the time for baking isn't necessarily clear. So those things, you know, we're going to kind of work through it. You know, don't be afraid when you're cooking or baking something, because if you mess up, what do? You just do it again. Keep trying. So we're going to see how it turns out, getting all this stuff ready ahead of time.
Place the flour, salt, bicarbonate, and buttermilk on your bowl. Yeah.
So one of the things that you also have to pay attention with flour, we don't know here what the case is, but sometimes it's 1 cup packed or 1 cup loose and or 1 cup sifted. So it depends on your recipe. In this case, we're just doing 1 flat cup. Not packed, not sifted, but just leveled. If you have tools, it's very easy to use a knife to level your cup. We'll cut those out.
What?
Me, vaping.
Oh, that's okay. We got our flour, then what? Buttermilk, 2 cups.
So I got that one out for that.
This one?
Yep, it's got a 2 cup mark. Remember, when you're measuring, if you want to measure perfectly, measure right in the glass.
Oh, okay.
If you want, but shake it first. When you're measuring liquids, you want to do it at eye level, just like you're doing meds as a nurse. And look for that meniscus if you want to be right on point. Other side should be cups.
So I'd have to go down, right?
Right here, yep.
Okay, so let's see. Ooh, it stinks.
Mm-hmm. Go a little teeny bit more because of the bubbles. There you go. That looks like 2 cups to me. So, and this
Oh, excuse me, honey.
already getting underfoot. Even though I'm going to step off screen for just a minute, but this type of recipe is really, it is a raised bread, like so the bread rises, but it doesn't use yeast, and that's why it's called soda bread. What it does is it actually uses the sodium bicarbonate or baking soda, which is again the soda, which is a alkaloid, mixed with the acid, which is the buttermilk, and that's how it creates the rising.
Oh, it can't. Oh, the top doesn't come off. Or does it? Let me get a teaspoon. So I'm placing the flour, bicarbonate of soda, and salt into the bowl right now.
Yep, because that soda is not going to react until you add the buttermilk.
Bicarbonate of soda,
Well,
1 teaspoon.
actually, yeah, go ahead.
And then I need salt.
Salt.
1 teaspoon of salt. Excuse me, Miss Lex.
Mrs. Lex. Oh, we didn't light our candle. I'm going to light our candle here. This is a nice summery candle that we got from somewhere. We need to have that lit. We have VG and Ma Petite over here helping us out.
All right. So should we show, like with the phone, I think this is all the ingredients.
That's all the ingredients?
Yep.
All right, so
Working, gather your ingredients and go to your kitchen, ground your soaps and draw a circle. So that's where we're at. Next, so should we preheat the oven to 350? Should I start
before
it?
you do, let's get some video of this. It's
Yeah.
still recording on here because I want the audio, so that's going to have to get cut out. But let's do a quick video here. Oh, it's already videoing. That wasn't supposed to happen.
And a photo, maybe. Do you want me to explain what each thing is?
Yeah.
So we have our handful of flower of choice. These are chrysanthemum petals. A handful of seeds of choice. These are sunflowers, appropriate to represent the sun and Lu. A handful of fruit, dried fruit. I selected apricots for its relation to sun for me, or harvest due to the orange color. A handful of oats, 2 cups of buttermilk, and in our bowl we have 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking soda.
Perfect. So getting your stuff measured and put together first will help you because everything A will be ready quickly, and B, you won't have to go fishing for something that you end up finding you don't have. So we're going to pan around over here just real quick. Let's look down just for the heck of it. There's our helpers.
Hey,
2 of them are
helpers.
not assisting today. And we are going to preheat our oven
350?
to 350. Again, we don't have a great temp to cook this at because there's very instructions on that. But we're going to start at 350, which is a general cook time for almost anywhere, which is I think 190 C, 350 Fahrenheit, and then we're making our butter, which is a whole separate thing. Literally just butter, water, and lavender flowers simmered low, reduced, and then put into a form. So that's it.
All right, so here we are ready to have some fun with our Lughnasadh cake, an invocation of Demeter. So kind of what we do anytime we'll be working on something, a ritual or spell work or candle magic, is take a cleansing bath or shower. Wear something comfortable and practical that you don't worry about messing up and that's not going to take your focus away from what you're doing. So it's good to get everything together. Our space, workspace is in the kitchen. You may also do this at your altar if you have enough space. We have grounded ourselves and we're going to cast our circle. With the candle, what it's good to do, I like, is to stare, gaze, meditate on the flame, to narrow your focus and think about what you're doing. So think about the harvest and all the things you're grateful for to Demeter. And in just a moment when we're ready, we're going to cast our circle and invoke Demeter. So for example, me, what I'm grateful for are the things I have and what I want to work on. Number 1 is actually a start with this work, is doing more cooking at home, more baking instead of ordering out. I've recently started a new job. So what I hope to gain from hard work And the harvest is getting my team into place and getting things in line and organized with that. Do you want to say anything about what you're working on with the work, or?
Yeah, and so I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, but just the idea that we recognize our separation from nature, and as we work to try to get it back, we do that by honoring and hopefully more actual working and doing the things that bring us closer to the land. I think the other thing is like I said earlier in one of the other little clips, it's really about, like, we have food security. We don't have to go out and shuck corn and get the eggs from the chicken, or however you do whatever it is that we're doing for our food. It's so much less work, and we're not working with the land. So right now it's the honoring, and slowly as we get to that place, we'll be able to do more of those things to kind of reconnect, because we have to recognize that we've got it pretty easy. We go to the store, like you said, and buy this stuff, and we are making this, and so we have to make sure that our intent is honest. We know we didn't go out and pick this off a vine. We didn't, prepare the sunflower seeds and all that stuff. So I think that's just important to kind of consider as we go through it. That's really my purpose, is just to realign, think about what people went through and what people still go through to get their food, and representing that harvest and hoping that they that are less fortunate, which is unfortunate, have some abundance, because we already have it.
And to be appreciative of the conveniences that we do have. Okay, so are we ready to cast our circle?
Yeah. Go to the east.
All right, we start with the east.
All right, so we are going to cast our circle, which basically allows that circle to be closed, and we will start traditionally in the east. So here we go. To the ancestors and spirits of the east, we invite you, as you are able, to come and work with us under the element of air and provide us with the knowledge that we seek and need to work. We appreciate and look forward to working in ways that will enrich us and help us grow closer to the world that provides so much for us. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
As we go to the south, we see our circle growing, and we call to those same spirits and ancestors of the south that represent the fire of creativity and passion, and give us the forces that we need and the impetus for change and creating things and starting new things. Also the heat that will bake the bread and cook the food that provides sustenance to us. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
To the spirits and the ancestors of the north, I'm going to repeat that one and cut it.
To the west.
To the spirits and ancestors of the west, we call to you and invite you in today to work with us through the waters of emotion that provide us with the joys and allow us to have the sorrows and contrast, to know that not only are we human, but we are connected. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
To the ancestors and spirits of the north, we invite you in to work with us as you are able. The representation of the hard work and toil of the land and the labor and the ability to reap those benefits are for all, not just for some. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
And as I return back to complete the circle in the east, I shall also return to the center of the ether and the spirit. This is what guides us, what's in us and without us, as above, so below, as within, so without. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome. And now for the invocation of Demeter. O Mother Demeter, of celebrated name, from whom both men and gods immortal came, bless us this Sabbath with the fruit of our hands. May abundance and happiness spread in these lands. From the seed to the grain, from the flower to the feast, may we harvest together from the west to the east. O Mother Demeter, ruler of corn, Bless us this harvest. May we all be reborn. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome, and blessed be, and merry meet.
Merry meet.
So I'm going to point out one thing. Even though I said cut in that, I'm not going to cut it because it's just a reminder. As I'm walking around, my attention kind of gathered off on my dogs for a minute because I didn't want to trip with a candle. You're going to mess up. You're going to say weird things. You're going to go to the wrong quarter. You're going to call north and the south, east, west. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
Identify it, fix it, move on. There's no reason to have to cut something like that out. You just do. You just fix it and move on. So I'm going to leave that in. Yeah,
All
why
right.
not?
Good.
I am in the essence of safety because fire safety is important. I am going to take this candle off because our air conditioner is blowing it pretty hard and I don't want it to end up in the trash. So, excuse me while we turn that one out.
All right. So you ready to get started and have some fun?
I'm excited.
So we have preheated. Again, there were some things missing from where I pulled the information on how to do this. And then when you look it up on how to bake soda bread, you get 10 different answers. So we have preheated our oven to 350 degrees. Do you think I need to spray that pan with anything?
You know, I read a couple of different things. I read that if you spray the pan, you'll get a much crunchier crust. Some recommend using parchment paper, which we don't have.
Okay.
I have never cooked or baked something without, and I have baked some things before, and they've been pretty awful.
Hey, baby.
But I've never tried without putting something on there to just lightly grease the bottom. So I would say we probably should.
Okay, with the spray?
And if it doesn't work, we'll find out shortly.
All right, well, we'll do that.
So I don't know if Brooke said it, but we did preheat the oven earlier to 350. You know, there's a lot of different temps you can use. Generally, when cooking, you can cook almost anything at 350. The difference will be the time. And unfortunately, sometimes when you cook lower temps for longer, you'll get something tougher. But we'll see what happens. And I think, honestly, since back in the day when they probably made some of these breads, these ovens were not electric.
Right.
They probably didn't bake it at 350 exactly or 220 exactly or whatever Celsius or Fahrenheit that you would cook at. So another thing that I thought was interesting is these can be made on the stovetop in a iron skillet.
Huh.
So it doesn't, yeah, with a lid. So it's and even without a lid. So I mean, I can see where somebody might have been doing this on a fire outside at Lughnasadh.
And they probably measured the height and color of the flames, or who knows what.
Yeah. I'm sure they had a method. So we do with what we have. It'd be neat one day to try that, but I think let's try to do it with an oven first before we burn the house down.
Good in my case. Okay, so to start, we're going to place our flour, 3 cups, 2 cups of buttermilk, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda into the bowl, and then we're going to stir them with our hands. So I have washed my hands when this was paused.
I will do that.
All right, so we're going to stir them with hands until a dough is formed.
So as he's stirring, I apologize for the noise, but I do need to wash my hands. Just for hand hygiene purposes, 20 seconds. So what can you do? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. And do that 2 times.
Oh
That'll be
my
a full
gosh.
20 seconds. I'm just saying, gotta teach. Good hand hygiene, especially now, is important, but it always has been. All
Oh my
right.
gosh.
So he said it's gonna get really thick.
So it says just to, once it's come together into a dough, we're going to add flour, seeds, and chopped fruits.
All right.
It's fun.
Is that a dough?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's a dough.
I don't know if it's a dough.
It looks doughy
It
to
looks
me.
doughy. It seems like a dough. Okay.
You want me to add the seeds?
Yes, please, sir, if you could add the seeds, flowers, and chopped fruit.
There's the seeds,
It's very sticky.
the flowers.
Okay.
I wanted to help a little bit. And I'm just going to do this for the heck of it.
Okay.
Not oats yet, though.
Huh. Interesting. I do not see anything about the oats. I would say we'd probably add the oats as well.
Keep going. Your ball going. Yep. Okay, we're going to add the oats.
We're going to add the oats.
We might have just screwed the whole thing up, just for the record.
But the oats are not referenced anywhere. So we're going to mix it all together. And then I'm going to need to, yes, dust this board with flour before I put it on.
You tell me when you're ready. And we will dust. I love doing this. This just reminds me of my grandmother so much when she used to do all this stuff. God, she would make a mess.
It's actually kind of fun. You know? So you can all see. What's it like mixing all this together? But just imagine if we were back, centuries ago, and this is what we had to do, and we would have been glad to have it because we would have had to harvest all these ingredients, and we'd have to get soured milk, and I don't know what they would have used for milk back then, but all right. So I think that's pretty well mixed, and we're going to you get dust. We're going to
There you go. You are dusted.
place this here and softly knead for 1 minute to form a ball. Okay, let's see if we can get it out.
Let me know if you need me to grab it.
Let's see.
So now you have to use both hands. Yep, that is dough. That is definitely dough. So now you both hands and you just massage that baby like it's a really nice tight butt.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So we'll just get. Wow, it's very sticky.
Oh my God.
What?
It's really good. Tastes like just freaking dough.
It's so tasty too.
It's like magic. Who would have thought dough would taste like dough?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm definitely putting the disclaimer out when you do that. Be ready to get your hands dirty and have fun. So I don't think that's been needed.
You need to work it. Get
Like
your hands
this?
and pull it, like cradle the whole bottom up too. Mix it. Yeah. There you go. Because you want it to get to a point because now you're mixing the acid and the alkaloids together. I'm just read this yesterday. It's not like I know how to do this. I'm just saying I read it. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's what it's supposed to get to, like that.
This definitely feels like what magic should feel like. Getting all your ingredients together. A lot of times it's messy. Candle magic, all of it with the oil, the herbs, but it's always fun, right?
You should be able to get it into a ball.
Well, we'll see how that is. Do we need more flour, you think?
I don't know because I don't know.
Okay, well this is like his...
You're going to have to keep kneading for that. That's not ready. You're not even getting your hands in there.
So
There
don't
you
overdo
go.
it.
Yeah, but you still have to be able to form the ball, right?
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but we'll keep going.
I see it happening. It's starting to form now. Going like that, like with your hand inside, and just scoop all of it together and lift it up, and I'll roll it like in a...
Like this.
No, but okay. It's not how I would have done it.
Would you like to show how you would have
No,
done it?
I don't want to get my hands dirty
Would
right
you
now.
like, come, you're welcome to show how you would have done it.
I mean, if you want more flour, I'll throw some on there. Doesn't say to do so. I don't see a ball, but hey, let's go with it.
I don't either.
You ready to put it on the plate?
Yeah, and then I'll try to do the
The scoring?
yeah.
Try to roll it into a ball as close as best you can. And then once you set it on here, that's your ball. That looks disgusting but good at the same time. That is too funny. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
It's all in the spirit of gratefulness for the harvest and honoring Demeter and Lou. Well, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do
So
you want me to score or are you going to score?
I think it would be best at this point for you to score.
I figured with all that on your hands.
I think I'll wash my hands.
So we're going to want a ball, so it's going to be round. This is weird. All right, so we also need to score it. Now the thing is, this does look like the pictures I've seen. It's just not as formed, I think, or as dry. It seems a little wetter, I think. Yeah, see, it's not supposed to stick when you score.
So I wonder what could have been done differently.
I don't know, but I think we definitely missed the boat on something. We were warned. We were warned. That's all I'm saying. And this is a very sharp knife, but it's definitely not going to be. Yeah, does not look like the picture. And this is the other thing too for me about like kitchen witchery and baking stuff, especially when you don't have experience. You learn experience and you figure things out by messing them up. So the next time we're going to use the same exact recipe, we may reach out to somebody, look something up. Maybe there should be more bread, or I'm sorry, more flour, or maybe there's something we did that we didn't understand in the vague directions. Who knows? But the end result is, it doesn't matter. Because it's the intent and the magic that we're doing that matters.
That's right.
So,
and the whole time I have been focused on what I hope to get from the harvest out of my hard work, and that's what magic's all about. It's not always pretty.
yeah, no, it is not.
Oftentimes it's messy. So.
Yep. All right, so let's put it in the oven.
All right, here we go.
Just watch out for the VG.
Excuse me, Miss VG.
With the dirty veggie.
Sorry.
Didn't have to do that.
Top or middle?
Middle.
Do you think? Right here. We're going to do it for what, 30 minutes?
Let's do it for 30 minutes, or let's do it for 20. All right, well, it looks like we are going to check this bread. Now it says bread will be ready 20-30 minutes. During that time, you can meditate. We had some discussions. Proceed with other cooking, take a walk, be mindful of the bread in the presence of Demeter. It doesn't say anything about what it should look like, but other recipes do say it should have a light golden brown.
Which it does.
We're going to pull it out, and we are going to, let me get this started, see what happened. All right, let's do this.
Ready? Excuse me, Miss Veach. I don't want to get her.
Here, I'll stay down here.
You think that's golden brown?
No, VG.
Or does it need more?
I don't know. Don't burn yourself. Pull it out. Let's take a quick peek at it. Set it down on the tray. Let's see. It's hard. Oh, toothpick. Where's your skewer?
Right here.
I forgot. That's how we were supposed to test it. Get me a skewer. Let's skewer. If it comes out clean, it's done. Still doughy. So we only did 20, so I'm going to say put it back in maybe for 5 minutes and recheck.
All right.
Maybe not even 5 minutes.
We'll do a 5-minute addition. It smells good.
Yes, it does.
All right, let's see.
All righty, signing off for a moment. So we're going to do
always
another...
safety.
Yes, always safety.
Always be safe.
So we're going to take this baby out. She looks a little bit more baked now.
A little more.
First thing I'm going to do is let's stick this skewer in there. Oh, it feels nice and crunchy. Can you hold the pan? Thank you. And try the other side because my dumb self didn't make sure. Yep, there you go.
5 more minutes, or are we going to call it?
I think we're going to call it.
All right.
Just want to check the bottom. It looks beautiful. Now maybe that it isn't, fully cooked, and that's potential. So I would call it though. I think we're good.
You want to take a picture?
Yeah.
Yep. You can see slight traces of your pinnacle, like one side. But it's the intent that went into it that matters. So this is to honor Demeter for Lughnasadh.
Yeah.
Lughnasadh.
And part of the problem really is there's no way to, like it just was no way to score it. It feels nice and thick.
It sure
And
smells good.
One of the things it said is that cross or that scoring is what helps the center bake. So my bet is that the center is going to be a little gooey. But you know what? I'm okay with that. All right, so this is going to be the first cut of our bread to see if it's actually edible. So
Lughnasadh bread.
guess I.
Lammas bread. It's warm. It's
It
nice.
is warm.
See what the bread looks like. Breaking bread. Ooh, hold it up. All right.
That looks pretty good.
It does look good.
I'm going to break it. And here, let's both try it at the same time since we're also
Okay.
hitting up there. So go ahead and stop. So it looks like it cooked. I think it's a little bit, probably could have gone longer in some areas.
God, it smells amazing.
Yes,
All
it
right.
does. You ready?
Ready. Oh,
That
good.
was really good.
I
I'm
could see
shocked.
how people lived on this for a week.
This is very dense, but it's still light at the same time. Like I said, I think, it said 20 to 30 minutes. We ended up doing 25 just because we really don't know what we're doing. It's perfectly brown on the bottom. Probably could have done another 5 or 10 minutes or 5 minutes or so. So maybe next time we'll do that. But now we know what we did worked. Even though it didn't dough up like we thought it might, it still was a good recipe. The apricots are so good.
And we give thanks to Demeter. I want another piece.
That's what I was just thinking.
Good.
We're gonna have another piece.
So please, don't forget to like
Look at that.
and subscribe. And please provide us any tips, hints, and experiences in the comments below that you've had with baking, ritual, or celebration
God.
bread.
They're so
Ooh,
good.
I got an apricot this time. I don't think you look fat.
Okay.
Where you are. Now, when you turn, and I'm not being mean, it does show like the belly a little bit.
Oh yeah, I still don't care about that when I turn. Just when I'm facing the camera.
But face on, to me, it's not bad.
That's it. Woohoo!
Can I vape now?
If you must.
That's part of my
If
casting.
you must. All right. Yeah, he has to eat a piece from both loaves because we're going to cook two, and that way we know if one of them is poisonous, he'll go first.
Thanks.
You know, it's how you test for the king.
Thanks.
Even though apparently you're joking that your king is pregnant, and I am not. That is really good. I didn't have high hopes, I'm just saying.